Yo, yo, yo. What up, what up, what up, my betting family? We back with another video here at No Limit Bets for the NBA slate of March 9th, 2023. Before we get started, though, as always, I would like to say good morning to y'all, good afternoon, whatever time it may be that you're watching this video. Hope y'all having a good one, and hopefully we can make it a better day by winning some money. Also, if you guys are new to the channel, please like, comment, and subscribe, man. It's truly appreciated. We're currently on the road to 500 subscribers. We're less than 75 subscribers from getting to that mark. So I definitely appreciate all the love and support that you guys have shown thus far. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into today's video. I'm going to be bringing y'all my top 6 picks for tonight's NBA slate of games. But just to do a quick recap of yesterday's slips that I did submit, kind of took the day off. I really only submitted 2 slips. This one right here, as you guys can see, we were able to go 3-1 as Chris Paul ends up with a push and Brandon Ingram gets hurt in the first half. So they pretty much DNP him as, if you guys didn't know, from now until the end of the NBA season, any player that you guys pick that gets hurt in the first half, PrizePicks is going to pretty much label them as DNP. But the other 3 that, the other 4 picks, should I say, Trae Young was able to hit his over as well as KCP. And then we took the under on Donovan Mitchell's 3.5 3-point makes, which he only ends up making 1. And then Pascal Siakam comes up short with only 20 out of the 23 points that we needed. Now, on the picks that we did post on yesterday's video, they were pretty much terrible all around. It was a horrible day as we were only able to go 2-4. The lone 2 that we're able to hit was Aaron Gordon over his PRAs, and Jason Tatum just barely goes over his points at 30. Now, the ones that weren't able to hit, Clint Capella and Bam Adebayo dealt with foul trouble from the start of the game, pretty much throughout the game, as Bam Adebayo ends up with 5 fouls throughout the game. And then he only ends up with 1 rebound, which is still completely disappointing, even though he dealt with foul trouble. But Evan Mobley also wasn't able to hit his, as he only ends up with 21 out of 25 points and rebounds that we needed. And Jacob Poeltl comes up short with only 8 points. So, like I said, man, it was a horrible day overall. Terrible picks on my part. But we definitely look to bounce back today and get back to our winning ways. So let's go ahead and get started. For my first pick, I'm going to be going to a points and rebounds prop, and I'm going to be going down to the Pistons and Hornets game, and I'm going to be taking James Wiseman over 23.5 points and rebounds. Now, as we all know, throughout the season, the Hornets are one of the worst defending opposing centers, but also over the last 15 games, things have not changed, as the Hornets are allowing the 4th most points per game and the 5th most rebounds per game to opposing centers. Now, in their last matchup, which was about 10 days ago, James Wiseman ends up with 30 points and rebounds, scoring 23 points and grabbing 7 rebounds. So I think this is a good spot for him, as also, I believe Jalen Duren and Stewart are going to be out for the Detroit Pistons. So, all in all, I think, like I said, I think this should be a good matchup for him to get us 24 points and rebound. So, that's going to be my first pick. For my second pick, I'm going to stick to the same game. I'm going to go to the other side, points category, and I'm going to be taking Terry Rozier over 21.5 points. Now, over his last 5 games, he's averaging pretty much right on the hook with 21, going over in 3 out of his last 5 games. A couple of those games, he barely just went over with 22. But against the Pistons, he has hit this over in 5 straight, including all three previous matchups this season. And in those 5 games, he has scored 25, 33, 25, 23, and 22 points. Now, all those 5 games were with LaMelo Ball in the lineup. Obviously, he's out for the season. So with no LaMelo Ball, I expect Terry Rozier, obviously, to get more shots up and be a little bit more aggressive as, their point guard. I know he's more of a score-first type mentality point guard, but I like this spot for him, so I'm going to be taking him for my second pick. For my third pick, I'm going to be going to rebounds and assists category, and I'm going to be going down to the Warriors and Grizzlies game, and I'm going to be taking Draymond Green over 14 rebounds and assists. Now, this was at 13.5 earlier, but they obviously bumped it up since then. Either way, I still like it, as he has hit this over in 4 out of his last 5 against the Grizzlies. The one that he did miss was a push at 14. Now, they've also played 2 times thus far this season, and he has hit this over with 26 rebounds and assists in one game and 20 in their most latest one. Now, as we know, since the Steven Adams injury, the Grizzlies are one of the worst defensive teams and one of the worst rebounding teams in the league since Steven Adams' injury. Also, for the season, the Grizzlies are allowing the 7th most assists per game and the 6th most rebounds per game to opposing power forwards. So all in all, I think this is a good spot for Draymond Green to get his. I think he'll come out aggressively, especially on the boards, since his last game he only ended up with, I think, 1 board, which is really low for him. So I'm going to be taking Draymond Green over 14 rebounds and assists for my third pick. For my fourth pick, I'm going to be going to the points and rebounds category again, and I'm going to be going down to the Kings and Knicks game. And I'm going to be taking Julius Randle over 36.5 points and rebounds. Now, with this one, his last 2 games versus the Kings, he has had 55 points and rebounds in one game, where he had 46 points and 9 rebounds. And then their earlier matchup this season, he ended up with 35 points and rebounds, but that was just in 27 minutes played only, where he ended up with 27 points and 8 rebounds. Now, over the last 7 games, the Kings are allowing the 2nd most points per game to opposing power forwards. So yeah, I especially like this as a bounce back spot for Randle, as their last game against the Hornets, he only ended up with 16 points. He had a rough game all around. So I like this as a bounce back spot for him against a Kings team that's not really known for playing defense. They like to get up and down the court, and they score a lot of points. So I'm going to be taking Julius Randle over 36.5 points and rebounds for my fourth pick. For my fifth pick, I'm going to be sticking to the same category, but I'm just going to go to the Brooklyn and Bucks game. Going to go to the guy right above him, and I'm going to be taking Brook Lopez over 20.5 points and rebounds. Now, this one pretty much has blowout potential written all over it. The Bucks are favored by 11.5 points, as the Nets are going to be without Spencer Dinwiddie, Cam Johnson, and Nicholas Claxton, 3 of their 5 starters. So definitely blowout potential, but I still like Brook Lopez to get us at least 21 points and rebounds. He has hit this in 5 straight games overall, and then 2 of the 3 matchups this season versus the Nets. Now, in those 3 matchups, he ended up with 13 points and rebounds, 28 and 23 points and rebounds. The 13 points and rebounds that he did have was the first meeting against these 2 teams back in October. Obviously, the Nets are a totally different team. In that game, he had a rough shooting game, going 3 for 10 from the field. If he was able to, make a couple more buckets, he should have been able to hit this over. But also, over the last 7 games, the Nets are allowing the second most rebounds per game to opposing centers. So all in all, I think this should be a good spot for Brook Lopez. Obviously, like I mentioned, it does have blowout potential written over it, but hopefully, Brook Lopez gets his line, hits over his line before they sit him down if it is a blowout. And for my last pick, I'm going to be going to the points category, and I'm going to be taking Desmond Bane over 23.5 points. Now, with this one, as you guys can see, let me just bring it back up. As you guys can see, over his last 5, he's only averaging 20.4, hitting the over in only 2 out of those 5 games. The 2 that he did go over was scoring 30 apiece against Houston and the Clippers. Now, I like this to be a good bounce back spot for him, as he only ended up scoring 7 points in their last game against the Lakers. Obviously, Baines could heat up and put the ball in the basket, and I expect him to do so today against the Warriors team that's not that great on the road, and then overall they're not that great defensively this year as well. So I like Desmond Bane here tonight. Like I said, as a bounce back spot, so I'm going to be taking him for my 6th and last pick. So those are going to be my top 6 picks for tonight's NBA slate of games. We're going to be taking the over on all of them. As always, if you guys agree with any of my plays, please just do your own research. Just don't take my word for it. And here at No Limit Bets, we like to go with the low risk, high reward. I'm just going to be betting the $7.50 that I did end up, winning in yesterday's slip. So I'm going to go ahead and place that entry for the possibility of winning $187.50. So I'm going to be placing that entry. And that's going to be it for today's video, y'all. Y'all have a good rest of y'all day. Enjoy the games tonight. And we'll be back here tomorrow. Let's get this money.